166,000 students.
15,000 staff.
51 partners in the industry sector, government and non-governmental organizations.
10 universities.
1 alliance.
So you're very, very welcome to today's celebration. My name is ATHENA Knapic, or Enya Knapic, which is already a little bit of a marriage of the regional and the broader European. I'm a professor of intercultural management here at the Carinthia University of Applied Sciences, and I have the honor of guiding you through tonight's event. So I'm very happy to see you all. As I mentioned, we have a little bit of this marriage of local, regional, and international. So you may find that as we're progressing through today, that things aren't as they always are. But yeah, I hope you also enjoy that. In terms of my work as an interculturalist, one of the things that we try to do is to take all of the diversity in the room to co-create a space that is important for leveraging learning, for fostering interaction, and really for making the most out of the potential that we have. So I'm very happy to guide you through. I would like to, first of all, before we start, say a very warm welcome also to our online guests. So we have a number of online guests joining us, not only from the broader ATHENA partnership, but also locally. Some of the colleagues, some of our local partners who couldn't be here today are also joining us online. So you're very, very warmly welcomed. And with that, I would start off by asking, first of all, Peter Granig, or Rector here at Carinthia University of Applied Sciences, to join me for his welcoming address.
Yeah, thank you, ATHENA, for the kind introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. It's me a great pleasure to welcome you all to our official opening ceremony of the membership of the Fachhochschule Kärnten at the ATHENA University Alliance. But first of all, I would really like to greet all our special guests. There are quite a lot. I have some marks over here. First of all, I would like to start with the Governor of Carinthia, Dr. Peter Kaiser. It's a great honor for having you with us. Very warm welcome. Then I really appreciate that the President of the Kärntner Landtag, Ingenieur Reinhard Rohr, still long-term friend of the Fachhochschule Kärnten, is also here. Very welcome. Then it's an honor for us to have Tine Delva from the EU Commission within us in Brussels. She is online with us. Hello, Delva. Great welcome to you. And then it's an honor for me to welcome all the representatives of the ATHENA University Alliance from all over Europe, and especially some friends are here from Marburg. And of course, it's a great honor for us to have Dr. Vice Rector of the Hellenic Mediterranean University, Dr. Costa Petridis, with us, the great General Secretary of the ATHENA Alliance. Great to have you here, Kostas. Then it's an honor for us to have Mrs. Evelyn Macho from the Federal Department of Research and Education within us. Very warm welcome to you. Then it's an honor for us to have Mrs. Sarah Katolnik, the Vice Mayor of Villach, within us. Great to have you. then it's an honor for us to have Dr. Petra Rodiger-Lasnik, head of our board, within us. Great to have you here. Then I have seen the General Director of the National Park Hohe Tauern, Dr. Bärbel Bucker, within us. Hello. Then I also would like to greet Mrs. Christina Eichwalder from Ernst & Young. She will be also in our panel discussion. Welcome, great to have you. It's, of course, very important for us to have our students here and also on the panel discussion. I'd like to welcome Evelyn Stehle, our student representative. Welcome with us. Then glad to have our CEO, Siegfried Spanz, over here. Hello, Siegfried. And it's a special honor to have our Vice Rector, Mrs. Angelika Mitterbacher, over here. Yes, and of course I would like to welcome all colleagues, all students on site and online. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, this event is a significant milestone in the educational history of our university, as we bring some of the finest minds in academia together. Let me say just a few words to ATHENA Alliance. ATHENA means Advanced Technology Higher Education Network Alliance. These are 10 great universities from all over Europe. With us, we are 10, having about more than 150,000 students and a huge potential for teaching and common research. So I would mention there should be quite a lot of potential also for our student exchange, also in the incoming and also in the outgoing side. Our students will benefit of the rich cultural exchange and interaction with students from different parts of Europe, while benefiting from the enhanced academic purpose opportunities that will be made available. Our faculty members will have the opportunity to work alongside leading academics from other member universities and collaborate in research and teaching that will deepen their knowledge and expertise. For example, we spoke at lunch with the colleagues from the University of Marburg, and they also have a faculty in engineering, in information technology, in healthcare, in medicine, in building and architecture, and of course also in management. So all the faculties we also have, and it's just 2 hours driving from here. And of course, all the other universities in the Alliance also very distinguished to applied research and teaching. Our university will be also able to contribute to the development of new programs and initiatives within the ATHENA Alliance, sharing our strengths and contribution to the overall progress of both organizations. For example, we can develop together joint degree, double degree programs, so important micro degrees, short learning units, and of course a lot of cooperation in the field of research and applied teaching. As we embark this journey, it is important to remember that we are not simply joining an academic alliance, but rather a community of like-minded individuals with a common passion for education and knowledge. As we take this important step forward, we must also remain mindful of our responsibilities, not just to our own students and staff, but to wider community we serve. We must continue to work tirelessly to uphold the highest academic standards while embracing diversity, promoting equality, and serving our communities through research and education. Ultimately, the success of our university and the Alliance as a whole will be determined not by our individual achievements, but by our collective actions. I look forward to working with my fellow Alliance members, faculty staff, students, and the community as a whole to build a brighter future for us all. For me personally, being a member of ATHENA, European University Alliance, is like taking part in the Olympic Games of higher education. We have achieved the qualification to start in the Premium League. Now we are in the race, and I'm sure together we will, with ATHENA, we will achieve and accomplish huge goals. And on this point, I would like to thank all my colleagues who served and supported the idea from being a great European university. Special thanks I would give at this time to Denise and her team for really making a great job on this and also for organizing this event. Thank you, Denise. Last but not least, I would like to thank the ATHENA Alliance, and especially dear Kostas, you, the great General Secretary, and all the members, of course, for trusting in our competences, in our abilities, and for support, for the great support and commitment you gave us. Danke, Kostas. Danke, ATHENA. For us, being a European university is not just a project. It's a vision coming true. Thank you all for your attention, and we look forward to work together for a great future for us all. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Peter Granig, thank you very much for your welcoming address. I think one of the things that we'll mention, and you'll hear again and again from us today, is that partnering is a process. So we're not talking about a project here. We're really talking about a long-term cooperation with each other, a process that we're excited to engage with also all of you on. And I think, Peter, when you talk about vision and the visions that we have or that we're sharing in terms of the possibilities that this wonderful partnership between ATHENA and CUAS can bring, we're also very open to co-creating and sharing that vision with you, and this is something that we'll come back to at the very end of today's event. So with that, thank you very much. I would also like to welcome Peter Kaiser, the State Governor of Carinthia, to join me at the podium for an opening address. Thank you very much.
Dear Mr. Konstantinos Petridis, General Secretary of ATHENA, the most important person today here in Villach, dear Rector, Magnificence, Mr. President, Vice Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, and a special welcome to our Klagenfurter Postillon, I have to say it, for all the people coming outside from Carinthia. We have a very positive relationship between Klagenfurt and Villach. I am here in Villach. I have the opportunity to give some remarks to you, welcome remarks. On the other hand, I'm coming from Klagenfurt, therefore I have to say it's always a big honor for a Klagenfurter to come to Villach and to hear Klagenfurt music by trumpets and so on. Thank you very much for this excellent sign of you. Seriously, first I want to transmit you the best and warmly greetings of the Carinthian government. You know, we are in a so-called finding process to come to a common program to make a government established here for the next 5 years, and therefore I have to apologize. After my speech, I have to leave this wonderful event very quickly because we are in the final negotiations, and you can be sure that it's necessary that the governor will be on the same table like the other ones. Especially because I am responsible, and therefore I come to my contents in my short speech, because I am responsible for educational affairs in the country, and therefore I think also for the educational sector and things you will transmit to each other here today, it is important to bring also such contents into our governmental program. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say Carinthia is a region of education. We have set ourselves the goal of offering every person, regardless of age or social background, the best educational opportunities from childhood up to the so-called lifelong learning. Digitalization has led to an enormous increase in knowledge in recent years. In order to keep pace with this dynamic process, flexible and target group-specific vocational trainings and educational offers and their networking, like ATHENA does, are essential. The so-called academic education in Carinthia is growing at the University of Applied Science Carinthia and is developed very well in the last years. Together with the Alps Adriatic University of Klagenfurt, the Gustav Mahler Private University in behalf of the region of Carinthia, and the University of Education represents an important pillar to the academic education in Carinthia. As governor and as I mentioned before, as Minister of Education in this region, I welcome every initiative of cooperation as well as networking on the University of Applied Science Carinthia, which is since the 1st of January of this year, member of the European University Alliance ATHENA, a big family of people, of teachers, of professors, of rectors, which are working very close together. From my point of view, it is important that Carinthia and our neighboring regions coordinate their plans, their targets, and also their curriculums together and across so-called state borders. The crucial point is implementing such alliance is to strengthen the country's links with the European dimension. The aim of cooperation, from my point of view, should be to ensure sustainable economic, social, cultural and environmental progress in the region of Europe, also thinking to our responsibility towards the next generations. I believe that by joining the ATHENA Alliance, a new door will be opened for the University of Applied Science Carinthia. A door to promote and to develop flexible learning activities, to improve research collaboration and perhaps also to support transnational cooperations with industry and economy. Coming to an end, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to add something. I'm also responsible in the government of Carinthia for European and international affairs, and I'm a member of the Committee of the Regions. I get some praise for my engagement there from Ms. Wornig. And I say it in this case because one of the most important tasks to advocate Carinthian interests and Carinthian wantings in the context of common European policies will be to make all possible efforts in Carinthia and to use the chance that the European Union, that cooperation, that international affairs and the common sense interpreted, and also to bring them to the scholars, to the students, is one of the biggest chances that we have to be a joint, a unified, and also a learning and teaching, studying in the same direction. A direction with sustainability, a direction where the people will be in the center of all our knowledges. And at least I also want to say that I explicitly welcome also in the name of the Carinthian government the membership in the European University Alliance ATHENA. I'm sure, maybe I can say it with the words of Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca, I'm sure that that day will be the very first beginning of a wonderful, I hope, long-term friendship between these institutions. Thank you very much for your attendance and all the best for you and all of you.
So thank you very much, and I'm very happy that also our state governor has recognized our efforts to marry the local and the regional also with the international, so thank you very much. I'm just going to change position now because we have the opportunity of also hearing welcoming words from a very special guest. Here we have Tine Delva. I hope you can hear me. Tine, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
Yes,
so,
I can. Thank you.
Thank you. So you're joining us from Brussels. You are the Deputy Head of the Directorate General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture, and we're absolutely delighted to have you with us as you have a very special role in relation to European universities and also the vision within Europe for European universities. So thank you very much. Tine, if you're ready.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me well.
Perfectly, yes.
Okay, good. Because it's really my pleasure to be here with you today, albeit digitally, so apologies that I couldn't make it to you. But I'm really happy to be here for this celebration of the partnership of this Carinthia University of Applied Sciences and the ATHENA European University Alliances. Because from the Commission side, we really would like to congratulate both of you for really pioneering this new cooperation and starting this deeper paths of working together. In our view, you are really embarking on a new journey together. And as the Carinthia University of Applied Science, you are joining a European university as it was established in line with the spirit of the European Universities Initiative that was created at the request of the heads of state and governments of the European Union only a very few years ago. ATHENA is one of the 44 European universities that we currently have, and we are happy to see the focus ATHENA has on research and education in the fields of science, technology and engineering, accompanying and shaping the digital transformation of societies, because this is a really topical and relevant societal challenge. And we also very much welcome the involvement with the local and regional communities, as we can witness as well through the previous speaker. And we welcome your focus on skills, on innovative pedagogical models, and your focus on strongly connecting education and research. Because we believe also that through your deeper cooperation, that this is the only way forward with this common long-term vision shared by higher education institutions across the EU, that we can gather the necessary brain power and manpower to devise solutions to the big societal challenges that we are facing, such as climate change, technological transformation, and growing inequality. And we strongly believe that by enlarging the cooperation with the Carinthia University of Applied Science, we can further strengthen the ATHENA Alliance. And I think we are more or less aligned, because I already heard it before. For the Commission, it is clear that European universities are not a simple project. It's an ambitious long-term vision to build the universities of the future and transforming all the level of the institutions. We are expecting the creation of European inter-university campuses where students, staff and researchers can enjoy seamless mobility, be it physical, virtual or blended. And we see that European universities are adopting a challenge-based approach to learning, teaching and research, working together in knowledge-creating teams of students, academic and researchers, together with private sector actors, public sector actors, civil society, all to tackle currently the societal challenges. And we also see that European universities are more inclusive by opening their higher education to all types of learners and offering more flexible and modular study programs. And we see that European universities are places where universities can become anchors of knowledge and civic engagement throughout your communities. So for us, European universities are now at a crossroad. They are at a turning point, also ATHENA. It's from moving through the experimentation phase during an initial 3 years, now to mainstreaming your activities to more faculties, departments, staff and students. And of course, now also to the Carinthia University of Applied Science. And we're also asking you to foster your offer of innovative pedagogies based on challenge-based and transdisciplinary approaches. And now comes the time of implementing this vision more concrete into actions to really transform your education institutions to work closer together well beyond other EU projects. And we are convinced that the success of your cooperation will also depend on how much from the very beginning you involve also your students and your staff. And this needs to be done at all the levels of your institutions, including all faculties. So not only at the rector's level, not only at the management level, but really encompassing the different layers of your university to ensure that we both have a bottom-up approach together with some top-down steering, because we really want to achieve a structural, systemic and sustainable impact. And the European Commission, not only, but also the member states and other higher education sector actors, they expect a lot from ATHENA and from other European universities. And we know that you have a lot on your plate to make your European university a reality. But we are convinced that opening up your partnership to the Carinthia University of Applied Sciences can add its value and can help you as ATHENA to reach this goal together with all of your other partner universities. And when I met in Brussels with Denise from your university last year, I felt an enormous energy and enthusiasm for the European Universities Initiative, which I understood is shared by many of you in the university. So I trust that you will share this energy and enthusiasm within ATHENA and raise your level of cooperation to the next level. And you can also count on the support of the European Commission in this respect, because in terms of European cooperation, the higher education sector can now already build on the great achievements of more than 20 years of Bologna process, almost already more than 35 years of Erasmus Plus cooperation and mobility, but we need to go further. We have proposed the European strategy for universities to further support the higher education sector, and the Council of Ministers of Education of the European Union have given recommendations to the member states for more seamless and sustainable transnational cooperation, asking to remove further financial and legal obstacles to the creation of a true European university. So we believe together that we can make it work so that also the ATHENA European universities can become a reality for all your students and staff. So I wish you lots of success in developing further the ATHENA European universities together with the Carinthia University of Applied Sciences. So we welcome this enlargement and we are looking forward to further cooperation. Thank you.
So, Tine, Delva, thank you very much for your very inspiring words. We're very happy to have had you join us. We're very happy for you to continue and join us online for as long as you're able to stay today. We'll say thank you very much again, and we look forward to hopefully welcoming you at some point here at Carinthia University of Applied Sciences. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you, and now we are about to move on to our keynotes. So we have two keynotes for you today. The first, I'm very happy to introduce a relatively new colleague to Carinthia University of Applied Sciences, as Denise Wornig has only been with us for about a year. You will see, as Tine Delva mentioned, also her absolute passion for driving forward the European University Initiative here at the University of Applied Sciences. Denise is head of the International and the European University Initiative here. She has, I think like myself, a passion for education because she has lots of masters in all sorts of global topics related to crossing borders and also relating in particular to international relations and policy making. So Denise has a master's from the US in international relations. She's a social scientist by background. She also has a Master of Science in Project Management, and then another master's in global studies. Okay, so I would really ask you to give a very warm round of applause to Denise, who has been spearheading this partnership for the past year. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your really kind words, Ethne. This is an honor to be here today and speak about this project and also celebrate what we've achieved all together in the last year. Our current reality of life are the fulfilled dreams and visions and ideas of the generations that came before us. Everything that you can see and hear and touch in this room was once a simple idea by someone. Maybe the person was sitting on their desk, maybe they were strolling through a beautiful forest up a mountain range, and suddenly this idea came to their mind. Maybe some of you have also had some ideas when you were having coffee at Europa ist auch dein Café earlier before we started. And maybe you were so brave, like people before us, to share the idea that you had with others, discuss it, learn about other opinions, and see where this idea could take you. Because then something magical happens. The idea can transform into something physical, something that all of us can use and that serves us and that is visible to all of us. At the age of 17, I was in touch with EU funding for the very first time. When I handed in an EU funding proposal together with a group of friends to get young people from all across Europe here to my roots, to Carinthia. And back then it was our strong wish and our idea to show the beautiful landscape in our region to young students and pupils from all across. A dream, an idea that turned into reality. Together with my friends, we were able to get back then a lot of money for teenagers, 25,000 euros, to implement this idea. And young people from Malta and Greece and Italy and Slovenia and Turkey and so on joined us here in my home. What followed from me was a career and an entire master's, as Ethne mentioned, dedicated to EU funding and EU policy analysis. And it is my absolute honor to be back home here and now as a professional introduce the Carinthia University of Applied Sciences to the European Universities Initiative and open a door for a stronger Europe, stronger ties to the European higher education area and also to the European research area. Carinthia is embedded in this beautiful region surrounded by the Alps and with such a close proximity to Italy and Slovenia. It represents the diversity of Europe, its languages, its cultural richness, its industries, and its future potential to solve any challenge ahead of us through our combined strength. I could continue with this speech and tell you about all the pioneers of the European Union and their ideas and their inspiring stories which turned into reality. Disregarding their historic circumstances, they decided to take action and lay the grounds for the current Europe we live in. They realized that turning inward is not an option to face any future challenge. Stories of Winston Churchill, who called for the United States of Europe, Konrad Adenauer, who promoted the creation of the coal and steel community, Robert Schuman, Louise Weiss, Nicole Fontaine, Ursula Hirschmann, the founder of the European Federalist Movement, Simone Weil, the first female president of the European Parliament, and many, many more who had a vision and an idea about Europe and contributed to its success. But what I would like to tell you instead is, on the one hand side, for our guests joining us online via the live stream, the story of the Carinthia University of Applied Sciences, as well as the story of the framework of the future of the Carinthia University of Applied Sciences, the European University Initiative. Carinthia University of Applied Sciences is successful today because back in 1995, when it was founded, people with a vision came together and created opportunities. Probably there were doubts. Most likely there were people who were questioning the need for a University of Applied Sciences in Carinthia. And presumably some people thought that this endeavor will fail. However, on the 2nd of October in 1995, 70 young people in 2-degree programs, electronic engineering and civil engineering, started their studies at the Carinthia University of Applied Sciences in the town of Spital, half an hour from here approximately. Now, 28 years later, and this is especially valuable to know for the audience watching online, CUAS has 5 campuses in Villach, Spital, Feldkirchen, Klagenfurt, thousands of Austrian and international graduates that have enjoyed a future-oriented education at CUAS, at an institution that is strongly rooted in the local region and also has an international outlook. In more than 40 full and part-time programs, approximately 2,700 students can obtain degrees in the field of health and social sciences, civil engineering, architecture, management, engineering, and IT. And additionally, there is the Center of Further Education that offers courses for 670 professionals currently that are enrolled. Research, development, a strong cooperation with industry partners are the key elements of CUAS' success story. Now, having reached a volume of 8 million euros in research, it is the 3rd largest research volume among FHs in Austria, Universities of Applied Sciences in Austria. And CUAS is a strong partner network of over 200 industry partners. All of those success stories were ideas once that we now get to enjoy and profit from as past generations envisioned it for our future. In a recent interview with Peter Granig in the Kleine Zeitung, he described joining the European University Alliance ATHENA as the most important milestone since the founding of CUAS. What is this idea and the story behind those European universities? On the 26th of September 2017, the French President Emmanuel Macron proposed an idea during his Initiative for Europe speech at the world-famous Sorbonne University in Paris. Macron anticipated the creation of European universities. Was Macron the first one with this idea? No. Most likely not. The idea of creating a supranational university can be tracked back to the beginnings of the European political project in the 1940s. But despite various endeavors, this ambition remained unfulfilled. However, this time, the idea fell on good soil, and it grew and flourished much faster than anyone ever anticipated. Not even 2 months after the Macron speech, the European Commission proposed a new European Universities Initiative to EU leaders ahead of the Gothenburg Social Summit in November 2017. The idea was to create inter-university campuses and university systems where in the vision each and everyone of this European university, including the staff, the students, and the researchers, can move effortlessly, strengthening the European higher education area. And in the future, allowing students to obtain a truly European degree. In December 2017, things are moving fast, the initiative was endorsed by the European Council, and the goal at the time was to create 20 European universities by 2024. 20 by 2024. Consisting of bottom-up networks of universities across the EU, allowing students to combine their studies in several EU countries and to obtain a degree and to contribute to international competitiveness of the European universities. Thereafter, the funding call for the European University Initiative was co-developed together with people like you and me in this room. It was higher education institutions, there were students involved, students' organizations, member states, the Commission itself. And in the first round, the goal was to select 12 European universities at the initial foundation of the initiative. In addition, the wider policy frame called the European education area should be created by 2025, underpinned by 6 dimensions, and Tine mentioned some of them before: quality, inclusion, gender equality, green and digital transition, teachers' education, higher education, and a strong Europe in the world. The idea was so well received that when the first call for the EU-funded application for the European University Initiative was launched in October 2018, as said, the goal was to select 12 European universities. 54 applications came from over 300 higher education institutions of the 28 member states and other Erasmus program countries. This was 4.5 times the amount expected, making it one of the most successful initiatives from the European Commission in the higher education sector. The budget was heavily increased and has been ever since, and the Commission decided back then to grant 17 universities, European universities, and go for this pilot and give it a try. They were very ambitious because fasting forward in May 2021, the Council conclusion of the European universities reiterated the support for the European University Initiative. And those transnational alliances will lead the way towards the universities of the future, promoting European values and identity, and revolutionizing the quality and competitiveness of European higher education. And as with any EU funding, there is a list of things that you have to tick, that you have to fulfill to get the grant. And in the European University Initiative, alliances must include partners from all higher education institutions, so regular universities, but also universities of applied sciences, from a broad geographic scope across Europe. And this is why ATHENA is so beautiful, because it's all over Europe. They need to be based on a co-envisioned long-term strategy focused on sustainability and excellence of the European University. They need to have a student-centered curricula, jointly delivered across the inter-university campuses, where a diverse student body can build their own programs and experience mobility at all levels of study. They should adopt a challenge-based approach, according to which students, academic and external partners, can cooperate in interdisciplinary teams to tackle the biggest issues facing Europe today. Now, the European Universities Initiative is the flagship initiative of the European Commission. The aim drastically changed. Now the Commission would like to support 60 European universities involving more than 500 higher education institutions by mid-2024. a significant change compared to 20 by 2024. This is 3 times the amount. Einstein once said, "For an idea that does not first seem insane, there is no hope." This might hold true when you think of the grand scope of boxes to tick and things to consider when building and contributing to a European university. There may be some of you in the audience who think this is crazy but doable. But there are also, and most likely, there are also some in the audience who think this is just crazy. There is no point in doing this. And may I speak to those of you who are now maybe clouded in doubt while we are starting our journey with uncertainties or even the feeling of being overwhelmed. All visions have a starting point. Mutual understanding and shaping the future together is so much easier when you can relate it to a real face and have ties with your colleagues from other parts of Europe. I invite you, on a personal level, to get to know your counterpart in the different universities and be curious what they work on. And also if in this process they might feel overwhelmed from time to time. Use them as a sounding board. Discuss your ideas with them, the challenges you face, and find common solutions. Don't reinvent the wheel, but use this unique possibility to solve solutions together and enhance your work on a new level. What ideas do you have to progress in your field and improve your work? And which ones of those ideas would you like to share with your new colleagues at the European University ATHENA? Some of them even sit in this room with us today. I see Kostas from Greece, Tatiana, Mladen, Sasha, Jože, you're all here from Maribor to celebrate with us. For those of you joining online, I invite you to do the same. Reach out to your colleagues here at the Carinthia University of Applied Sciences. On the European level, after the 2022 Erasmus call, there are now 44 European universities, one of them being ATHENA, involving around 340 higher education institutions in both capital cities and remote regions like here in Carinthia, spreading across 31 countries, including all EU member states and beyond. Those 44 current European universities have a total of 1,300 associated partners, ranging from NGOs to industries to enterprises, cities, local and regional governments, and many, many more, who are substantially increasing the quality and the scope of higher education in Europe. This means there are thousands of staff, students, and researchers who have been in touch with the idea already, and they've started the process, and they are following this vision. And like the pioneers of the European Union, who disregarded the historic circumstances at the time, it is now on us to shape the future of our region, Carinthia, and the future of our universities. If you wander through a forest, or a beautiful mountain range here in Carinthia, or you simply walk across campus in Villach, and then the idea pops into your head, one that you are willing to share with your colleagues at the European University ATHENA, dare to share it. Find out how you can collaborate with them and learn from each other to make your idea come true. Our current realities of life are the fulfilled dreams of the generations before us. What are your dreams and ideas for our European University of the future? Thank you.
So maybe we will, we'll have another piece of music. Thank you. So thank you, Denise, for also setting the context for us in terms of really what European university initiatives can mean and what they'll hopefully mean for us. I'm very excited now to have the opportunity to meet somebody who I had the honor of meeting in person yesterday. So I have the job of introducing Kostas Petridis, who is the current General Secretary of the ATHENA Alliance and has been since 2021. He's also an Associate Professor at the Department of Electrical Engineering at the Hellenic Mediterranean University. He has a PhD in Physics from St. Andrews University in Scotland, so I think we share a love of the Celtic. At this point, I think the only thing missing from the Alliance is maybe another Irish connection. But Kostas, we're very much looking forward to your vision of ATHENA.
So thank you very much. On behalf of the ATHENA, I'm not going to use it because I have 5 minutes, so I have to engineer. So thank you very much for the hospitality. It's a great pleasure. I'm Kostas. I'm on behalf of my colleagues and all the ATHENA. I'm one of the Athenians that they are working for this vision. I mean, as all the speakers they have mentioned, this is a vision, it's not a project. It's like the priority of the European Union in order to integrate Europe through education and research. As you will see, I will engineer right now. I will follow this manual in order to make my presentation and also to make visible to all of you what we have achieved and what we would like to achieve all together in order to become better as a group, but better as a unit. Because the European universities are not cancelling the units. They try to collaborate the units. The units are the different universities. We don't want to violate, the legal entity. We have our lawyer here, Mr. Vladen from the University of Maribor. We would like to respect the legal legislations, and we would like, despite of any barriers that these legal legislations are placing, to become better. Better in education, better in research for everyone. Students, professors, researchers, administrators, everyone. So what we are, what is the ATHENA? As my colleagues they have mentioned, ATHENA is an acronym. It's very nice that a Greek presents ATHENA because ATHENA also is the goddess of wisdom, and but means Advanced Technology Higher Education Network Alliance. And what better place to present ATHENA in Carinthia, University of Applied Sciences. I had the chance the last 2 days to meet excellent people, excellent researchers, to check out by myself how beautiful the place is, but at the same time, what kind of research, what kind of connections with industry you demonstrate. And we are really happy that we are going to gain from you, because ATHENA is a game, it's a win-win game. We are offering something, you are offering something, and together, as I mentioned, we are moving forward. So ATHENA consists right now from 9 + 1, 10 universities. So our coordinator is the Instituto Politecnico do Porto. Our coordinator is Professor Escudeiro. He locates in Porto. We have, I'm going to follow the geography. So we are the University of Vigo in Spain. Each one of these universities offers to the ATHENA something different. So Carinthia, I will present you the different and the complementary thing that you offer. So we are University of Orleans in France. We are moving to Germany, University of Siegen. So we are going to make a nice tour, as you will see. We have University Marie Curie Skłodowska in Lublin, in Poland. Then we are moving to Lithuania. That we have Vilnius Tech University. Then we are going down to the south to our colleagues here, which is the University of Maribor. We are coming to Crete, the Hellenic Mediterranean University, and then we are going to our colleagues to Cusano in Rome, and then we are not ending, the story of the ATHENA, the development of ATHENA in Austria with the University of Applied Sciences in Carinthia. But we are beyond Europe, because in the ATHENA already all the Brazilian universities, they participate as an associate partners. We have, a big association from Africa focused in the precise agriculture in Africa, and we have also 51 companies that they support us. I'm very glad that I can see that Ernst & Young is here. We have the support of Boston Consulting and McKinsey in one of the topics that we organize. So ATHENA is focused in all the topics. Education, research, innovation, relation with an industry, and activities around the students. Because students, whatever we are doing, is around students. Because this is the priority of EU. EU is giving us the money, so we should support the priorities, but also because we recognize that this is the importance and the next level of education. Because the next level of education is going to be precise education. So how to use learning analytics in order to offer to our students what do they need in a personal level. So what we have achieved in education, what we represent, first of all, I have to have in my notes, 166,000 students, more than 15,000 staff, researchers. So this is what we offer to the community and to the rest of the people. Regarding education, what we have managed to demonstrate is like to use all the tools, join, all of us or part of us, to demonstrate the collaboration. So already we offer, 5 blended intensive programs in topics that they are related to our priorities, starting from smart cities, new technologies like 3D printing and Makers 5.0, soft and research skills development that the market is looking for so much, and also, programs together with big other universities. So recently, we have the first course in perovskite materials and applications that is a part of the doctoral school of EPFL in Lausanne. Also, last week, we have completed a whole online school in printed electronics together with another priority of EU that is running through the ATHENA and through the participation of HMU on distributed research facilities. You know right now that in Europe they would like to do an economy. So we have created in the research level distributed research facilities. So we are very happy HMU and also ATHENA, because HMU is ATHENA, ATHENA is HMU, and this is valid for you as well, to be part of 2 European research facilities that is also available to our Athenian partners. So in printed electronics and in photonics. This is like in education also, we have applied for an Erasmus Mundus, a joint master degree in sensing. I can see here, I don't know where is my colleague, that we have this discussion during the morning, from nanomaterials, to sensing systems. And I'm very glad to hear from your colleagues here that you have a very advanced research on this. So this is going to be an integrated part of the ATHENA. But not only this, through the discussion that we have over there, we are very much focused on how to apply, I don't know where is Alexandra, on the application of micro-credentials. This is a key of the model that we present. So for us, any learning outcome is a competence. This learning outcome can be attached and can be learned from any course. So for example, how to make a presentation or how to analyze data can come from physics, can come from engineering, can come from finance. So we would like to propose to the European Commission a very flexible way that the students, they design their own learning pathway based on learning outcomes. And these learning outcomes can be the micro-credentials for the people from industry. I just visited today your laboratories. I jumped in one laboratory and I asked in a very democratic way that the Greeks we are, what are you doing here? So, your colleague told me, oh, we are teaching fundamental things about transistor to the people of the semiconductor industry. I said, why do they need this? Because sometimes they are building things, but they have not realized, what are the fundamental things. So micro-credentials could be used for this purpose, to attract and accredit, this kind of training. If I move to the research, we are very proud in the ATHENA that we have very good partners, University of Maribor and all the others that we contribute, but thanks to their leading, we are able to demonstrate an online platform that all of our researchers, they can be registered based to their expertise, and what we are doing when we are building a project, we are looking for partners, and we are looking for partners in a specific expertise. So because I'm a dumb, and because I'm an old-fashioned guy, I'm using the cards, but I'm missing my cards. So now I have this tool that I can go inside. I'm a laser physicist, so I'm looking for collaboration in lasers. So I can go inside and check who is doing lasers or who is doing photonics all over the alliance. I still have 3 minutes. So this is something that we can demonstrate. Also, through the experience that each one of us we have, we would like to upgrade this and make, distributed research facilities. So your students, your researchers, I'm pretty sure that you don't have everything in the lab. Or we don't have everything in the lab. We don't have these fantastic facilities, EMC, that our colleague demonstrated to us today in order to bring. But now we know these facilities should be registered through the online platform that we are building through the ATHENA. But we have something else that the researchers also want very much. And what is this? Publications. Perish or die, what we used to say. So we have also our research book that our young scientists can go after a review, and the reviewers coming from top universities, Weizmann in Rehovot, Oxford, Cambridge, or our network, that they review the papers that they are submitted and we can publish. And this can be viewed through the Google Scholar, for example. So we have here our editor. I cannot pronounce his name, after 2 years, Joseph, that he's the chief editor of what we are doing. What we are doing now to industry. So also, I'm going back to the research. Also, we are offering funding for research mobility. So our researcher or our young researchers, they can be funded by us and can go all over our network in order to do some research activities. For example, some experiments. Now, if we are going to do the innovation, this is the biggest challenge of the European universities, that like how to communicate what they offer to the market. Because market thinks differently than the universities, and it's something that the universities should correct somehow in order to communicate with the market. So we are trying to establish this culture through our universities to collaborate with the market. What we have right now is like an excellent pool of more than 150,000 young minds that they can come and can work for internship to the universities. Also, we would like the universities to participate in some pilot cases we have managed this in order to develop our pilot courses. I mentioned before we started with perovskites. We are doing the same in the printed electronics. We are doing the same in the soft skills. So we try to engage different market stakeholders in order to advise us and provide us lectures, but also their opinion. So at the moment, through our industry committee and through our liaison officers, right now a team from University of Siegen, they are participating in a very big exhibition in Hamburg, am I right? Hanover, my German is very poor. Hanover, they demonstrate and they exhibit what ATHENA can manage. Also for our teachers, we provide full training in all modern student-based pedagogies. So we have a full series of seminars that you can find in our YouTube channel, how to apply problem-based learning, how to apply Scrum in combination with problem-based learning, how to apply flipped classroom together with the other kind of techniques, how to apply micro-credentials, and this is the link from Ireland, that this lecture is given by a lady from the Irish Ministry of Education, and Ireland is like a reference point how to apply micro-credentials. And also now coming to our administrators, we provide courses like in soft skills, and we would like to continue. The next activity that we are going to do is like how to use, Google tools in order, to be more efficient. So I would like to take this time to thank you again, to welcome you to ATHENA. My presentation is available for all of you in order to check, everything in details. Thank you very much for the time. And I would like to thank you and welcome to ATHENA. You have demonstrated, the ambition, the motivation to be an excellent partners. So we really appreciate. I'm not promising anything because I'm one of the Athenians. But, I think that you have the characteristics that matches ATHENA. Because ATHENA is like small, medium universities. None of us, we are belonging to a capital. And we have the same vision. We are, technologically alliance. Of course, as you listen, our funding agent, we would like to expand our activities to other topics. I would like to thank you for the honor. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Great to have you. Thank you.
Without Spanish.
So thank you very much. I think you can sense the sense of enthusiasm and passion and all of the possibilities that we have as we move forward with this alliance. So we have come to the end of the first part of our event today. We're not going to let you move, even though probably now would be a good time to let you move. We'll be quite flexible with our program, but we would like to continue with a panel discussion, and then we'd like to open up the floor to your questions, any questions that you may have. So hopefully also those of you online will have a little bit of energy to continue with us as we have an open discussion really about what ATHENA means for CUAS and also what CUAS means for ATHENA. I would invite our online guests, if you do have any questions or comments, we will open the floor after the discussion, so please do also type those into the chat, and thank you very much to Carmen, who's moderating the online session. So with that, I would like to invite 6 guests. I would very much like to start off with our student representative. As Kostas mentioned, students are what we do. This is the work that we do. This is why we're here, and I'm absolutely delighted that we could encourage Evelyn Stele to join us today. So Evelyn, we're delighted to have you join. Thank you. Then I would ask Peter Granig to also please take a seat for the discussion. I'm very happy to also welcome you, Melinda. It's wonderful that you've joined us from the ministry, so thank you very much, Melinda Machau. And also we have Christina Eichbarder, please. So, Christina Eichbarder, I hope there's still space. Yes, wonderful, from Ernst Young. So also, we want to think about all of the different perspectives that, that we can bring in industry, students, what it means for staff. And of course, our final seat, and one of the most important ones, goes to Kostas Petridis. Thank you very much. So any of the questions that I don't cover, please also feel free to make a note of, and we'll cover them at the end. I would very much, Evelyn, like to start off with you. Evelyn she's a local student, we'll say in the wider sense of local, has studied on the Intercultural Management Programme and is now studying on an international business master's. And Evelyn, what do you think that this partnering will mean for students? And you can also be skeptical because, of course, we know that we may have also some skeptics who we might need to convince that this is something absolutely valuable, but it's also very important that we realize maybe there are some challenges and how we might overcome these together.
Well, thank you, Athene, for the question and for inviting me to this panel discussion and giving at least one student a voice. So if you ask me how I feel about the Alliance and what I think the benefits are, I would say I'm really excited for the Alliance because, as you mentioned before, I intentionally chose international study programs in my bachelor and master's. So I really believe strongly that this alliance can bring a lot of advantages and improvements to the existing internationalization that we have and to all the students and not only of the international programs. So, for example, I think in terms of exchange programs, I think this offers a lot of opportunities because there is already these Erasmus Plus programs, which I also use personally. But I do believe that this is a huge extension to what's already existing, also in terms of virtual and hybrid exchanges and not only physical ones, which means going personally to another country. Secondly, I do believe that it increases significantly the reputation of the university and its USPs, which they already very strongly have. And it extends them by adding expertise, international expertise, an even broader international network, and a stronger international orientation by not only allowing our students and staff to go abroad, but also welcoming more students to our campuses. Which brings me to the last point that I want to make is that I do think that this also brings a lot of opportunities for future and existing international students in Carinthia to have a stronger network here and to be more welcomed and integrated than they are already. For example, with the opportunity of an ESN, an Erasmus student network, which the university has already started, and adding on to the beautiful keynotes that we've already listened to, I really believe that we can shape the future of this university by being an active part and being engaged.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Evelyn. And maybe just picking up on one or two points that you mentioned, I mean, one thing that I would really like to also re-emphasize again, because we often have these discussions internally, is that international does not necessarily mean English. Yeah, and I think sometimes we associate this idea of internationalization with English-speaking programs, English-speaking cooperations, and actually the international element is all about managing the multilingual, the multicultural components. So when we're talking about exchanges and student exchanges, we're not just talking about exchanges that take place in English, but actually that take place in a range of other languages. And that's one of the things that I think is really important. Evelyn, maybe I could ask you, because this idea of Erasmus exchange, we know that not everybody has the opportunity to go abroad, and particularly if we think we have increasing student numbers that are non-traditional, that are not studying full-time, but are maybe, you know, joining later as part of their, they've already started employment and they're joining university institutions to pick up on degree programs. How do you think that, this idea of cooperating within ATHENA might offer also possibilities for those non-traditional students to collaborate?
I think that, as you've mentioned, the ATHENA network allows a more inclusive form of internationalization as well, because there is, as you said, many factors that won't allow students to go abroad. It can be socioeconomic factors or health reasons, or simply, you know, being a part-time student and having a job responsibility here in Carinthia, which a lot of our students do. I think it's becoming more inclusive for those people as well to experience internationalization themselves and to look beyond the borders of Carinthia, even without leaving Carinthia, which I think is a beautiful opportunity for them and for the whole university to become even more open-minded and international.
Thank you very much. And the second point, and I think that's maybe something we haven't emphasized, is that the ATHENA University Alliance is currently, as far as I know, the only university alliance that has this European student network. Kostas, maybe I could ask you directly to pick up on that, if that's the case.
Thank you for the question. It was my intention to not mention this during my oral presentation. So to be precise, ATHENA European University is one of the few that we have established, you know, this ESN, ATHENA ESN network. And this is very much recently highlighted last week from the European Commission Journal and from the European Commission Press, that ATHENA and one other alliance, I'm not going to name it because I would like to disseminate ATHENA, is like one of the good examples regarding this activity.
Okay, thank you very much. I was conscious there because I know I have a very loud laugh. I already have in advance tested. I'm trying to make sure that I don't shock anybody by laughing into the microphone. So thank you very much, Kostas. Peter, maybe I could ask you to share with us why you chose this particular alliance. What exactly was it about the ATHENA consortium that you were interested in?
Yes, when I heard first time from the European University Alliance about 4 years ago, I was a little wondering why not all universities located in Europe are European universities. But then I researched much deeper, and I have seen really the possibilities, the chances, the funding, the cooperation on these networks. And then we decided within our university we have to become a member of such an alliance. And yes, after this process we watched all the universities present at this time there have been about 30 alliances, and we picked out 3 of them which we thought there we have the most matching. ATHENA, by the way, was one of this, and then we looked further to their goals and have seen that there really is a lot of matching with our strategy. For example, also the faculties you often, Kostas, you just speak today just from the technical field, but you also have a lot of other faculties. So I really would like to say to my colleagues, there is a lot in this alliance for all of us, just to mention also this and this in this part. Yes, and then we meet us, we come together, and the negotiating really turned out very, very great. And I think it's really a big chance. They are all applied university. This is also, of course, a focus from us, applied teaching, applied researching. So a big chance, and I have to say, now we are really happy to be in ATHENA. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe I could move on to get the national perspective a little bit on European universities, and if I could ask you, please, maybe to share what you see as the potential and how European universities can help shape also the Austrian higher educational landscape.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to be here and to speak to you. For me and for the ministry, the European University Initiative is very important strategical, because the European University contribute to shape and to further develop the European education area, the European research area, and the European higher education area. You see, every higher education institute is under junction of the 3 main activities and missions for education, research, and higher education. So that is very important. And the European University Alliances contribute also not only for the further development of the European higher education, also for the Austrian higher education landscape. I'm very proud to say that in Austria there are 13 European University Alliances. And I'm very, very happy that the Fachhochschule Kärnten is the 14th European university institution. Denise said already that the initiative is mentioned in all European documents. But for me it is important. Why? Why we do that enormous work? It is not easy the way to build up a European University Alliance. The most important for me is because there are synergies. A European University Alliance is more as the sum of the parts of the single institutions. It is a huge opportunity to enhance the visibility of the higher education institution and the attractiveness, the global attractiveness. It is windows of opportunity for you all as researcher, as teacher, as staff, and as students to discover and to be very, very deep linked with the world. Yes, I have some notes there. The Alliance is an opportunity also to realize the vision. It is for the first time when you have the opportunity to shape the future of your higher education institution, and also from a part of European alliance. And it's also a mission. Please go ahead. It is a windows of opportunity, and I can congratulate you and ensure you from our support for your way in the future.
Thank you very much, Melinda Macho. Thank you. So one of 14 in Austria and the first in Carinthia. So we're very happy also that we're one of the first universities or higher educational institutions here to make that step. You mentioned a little bit the effort that goes into collaborating and working at this particular level. Before we talk about the challenges, of which there are many, I'm sure, I'd like to move back to this question of why. So why get involved in one of these university alliances when it certainly brings with it a certain amount of effort and work, and what the benefits are clear. But Christina Eichwarder, I'd like to ask you from the perspective of industry. So we have these very clear ideas within the educational sector, what this collaboration can mean. We've heard a lot about also the cooperation with educational institutions, with ATHENA and with industry. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you see this type of cooperation maybe contributing to the future of Carinthia, particularly.
Yeah, for us it is important to cooperate very early in the stage of the recruitment process, because there's a talent shortage, and how can we cooperate with the internship also, and how can we organize flexible working situations, like flexible in studying, but also be flexible by giving cool jobs, and cooperate and network, and also giving insights and best practices, because also the speed of innovation is like a basic requirement. And how can we just face that digital transformation and also sustainability? So it's important for us, what are the lessons learned, how can we just really transform that process?
So in terms of helping our graduates to become work ready, do you have any specific recommendations for us? Are there particular gaps that you see from the perspective of your work that you think that also this alliance could maybe contribute to?
Yeah, maybe how we can work better internationally, also with our clients and with our internships. I think that is one maybe benefit, or also question.
Okay, thank you very much, thank you. Kostas, I'd like to pick up on the challenges, because we're at the very beginning of this partnering journey, this process. You have gone through this several times, so maybe you could give us some insights into what types of challenges do the partners face, and also how these challenges have been overcome.
There are no challenges.
No.
No, there are challenges. First of all, I will say how to tackle the limitations that different national legislations place to our initiatives. For example, how to launch, for example, undergraduate programs in English. What are the processes for double degrees or joint degrees. So the national legislation is something that the European Commission also has recognized. It's one of the challenges. They are working in order to prepare the legislation how to run European universities, the universities that they participate, in order to facilitate this participation. Another challenge, of course, as in all, it's not a project. In all the alliances is like the commitment, of all partners. Another challenge is like the national support. All the European universities, the European Union makes very clear that the budget that we are receiving is like to organize the stuff. So they are working in the European level, in the level of governance, national governance, how to sustain this finance using local, regional, and national funding. So one of the main challenges is like how to make more homogeneous the financial support that each of the universities they receive from the national governments. So there are some governments that they provide a lot of money for the participation in the European alliances. There are some governments that they don't provide any financial support. And there are some governments that they provide something in between. So the European Commission is make a great pressure to the national governments to homogenize this. The funding, to homogenize the calendar of the different funding sources that they provide from European funding agency. Another thing that they are working very hard is like to provide extra funding for research. So this happened in the first 2 years, but then it stopped. So they are working together, the two funding bodies, and you can see in European level, also they cannot collaborate, like to 100%. So because they are different interests. And the final challenge that I would say is the priorities of the units within the European Alliance. As I had a very nice talk and a very nice dinner last night. I'm not going to mention with whom, but you can see that each unit has its strategic plan, strategic priorities. And this cannot be violated because we are making an alliance. So this is one challenge, that you should integrate your individual strategic plan within the strategic plan of a team. So also this is a challenge. But at the end of the day, I will say everything that is innovative, anything that is disruptive, at the beginning looks difficult. It's like thermodynamics. I'm a physicist. So when you change, the energy of the system, at the beginning is chaos. But what happens at the end? A nice travel to paradise, to stability. So this is my answer to you.
Thank you very much. Denise, maybe I could ask you to pick up on this. So how close to paradise are we?
Ooh, if you ask me, very close, because we've entered the door. Yes, I fully agree with you. There is challenges, especially all these legislative challenges that will be one of our future processes, projects, whatever it will be in the end. And then I see it regionally more, and also from experience with the other European universities in Austria, we're in a very close cooperation. And we're the 5th University of Applied Sciences. There's only 4 universities of applied sciences who are now in this European University Initiative. And communication is for sure one big challenge. Also reason, or not only, but also one reason why we're hosting this event tonight, to really ensure that we contribute to a really good communication flow among the university, that people are informed. Because oftentimes this European university myth is like this alien landing, and it can give a lot of feelings of feeling overwhelmed and too big, too much, too everything. But it's not. It is a process, and it's a step-by-step process, and together with great partners, we will do that.
Thank you very much. So adaptability, flexibility, and then merging this sort of diversity in unity. Thank you. I would like at this point to maybe open the floor to questions from the audience, also our online guests. Thank you. I see we have one hand raised and we have 2 microphones. So if you would just please wait until we get the microphone to you.
Hello, my name is Shivam. I'm a student here. My question goes to this place as a skeptic as well as somebody who's hopeful. What is the breadth and scope of a micro course, what do you call it? Credential, yes, micro-credential, sorry. Micro-credential. And I speak both as a student and as maybe a future employer who's trying to reskill my job force and make them better for my job, which I'm offering them, is how many modules in multiple universities I can work on at the same time. And will these modules be from a single faculty, or I can go across the university, send my workforce or send myself as a student in the future to every single place, online or offline? And how deep can this micro-credential actually go? And can we combine this micro-credential into a new degree if we have enough students? And then again, the follow-up question is, how many students do you need from a university or from a group of multiple universities to form this micro-credential into a certification which becomes a master's degree or a diploma? The second question and follow-up to this is, of course, well, I get the mic, so second question is micro-research, that instead of developing a new, completely unbroken ground area of research, developing small particular problems faced by another university. For example, you are facing a bottleneck in some Ruby laser maybe, and FA here has the capacity to develop the nanomaterials and provide you, but it's not a big project, it's a small 5 or 6 month project. So will something like this also be coming up? Just the 2 questions. Thank you.
So, thank you very much. Kostas, thank you. I think this is directed at you, I believe. So the 2 questions, one in relation to micro-credentials and the potential that they offer also in a transdisciplinary sense. And the second one is in relation to micro-research, which I think is something, maybe a term we don't hear so often, but I think we can certainly offer some insights into that.
Thank you very much, first of all, for the 2 questions. I will try to use a reminder in order to remind me what, if I forgot something. So first of all, regarding micro-credentials, what is the scope of the micro-credentials, if I remember well? The scope of the micro-credential is exactly for the student to be able to design its own learning pathway. I'm talking now, the answer that I'm providing to you is from the student point of view. Then I will come from the employee point of view. So from the student point of view, you have the flexibility to pick up the learning objectives. So you are deciding what you can demonstrate, what you be able to understand by yourself. So you can pick up using our competence model, which is very linked with micro-credentials because it's linked to learning outcomes and not to a content of a course, to design your own learning pathway. Of course, when we are using micro-credentials, it's very hard on my mind and my beliefs what micro-credential is, like to lead to a whole degree. But you can use, for small degrees or small courses. So this can lead to minor courses, minor degrees. For example, I forgot to mention that after the discussion with your colleagues over there, you offer a fantastic scenario for a minor degree for the ATHENA, starting from Carinthia. For example, you have a fantastic collection of courses regarding 5G. You have a fantastic type of courses regarding microelectronics. And this is make very attractive you because you are next to semiconductor industry. So, a set of courses, they can lead to micro-credentials, like, let's say, like from 15, up to 15 ECTS, but ECTS is something different. So now, from the point of view of employees, so regarding students, is the flexibility that is providing to you to pick up any learning outcome from any discipline. This is not limited to engineering. You can pick up something, a learning outcome that matches, your engineering degree, if you're an engineer, from biology, for example, or from management. So let me also correct Peter that I'm not mentioning only engineering. Engineering is everything. In order to be an engineer, let me complete my thought, my way of thinking. Engineer is everything because you need to have technical competencies. You should have soft skills in order to convince the people to give you money. You should be a manager. You should be innovator in order to speak with the companies, in order to sell. And so why your research is important. So you need management, and you should control your company. You should have financial knowledge. And not only this, you should be a social science as well, because you should sell these people to everyone. So as you see now, when I'm presenting ATHENA, ATHENA represents everything. And the best platform in engineering because it includes everything. So coming back to employee, this is a fantastic tool for industry. Imagine that right now we have moved from the 4G to the 5G. In Greece, 4G is still available together with the 5G. So there are a lot of employees right now in the telecommunication companies that they would like to retrain very fast to the 5G fundamentals. And this is an offer of micro-credential of the minor programs. So micro-credential is an excellent tool also for the companies. Ernst & Young, for example, can make their own course in soft skills, because soft skills, according to McKinsey, is like 68% more important for employment than hard skills. So this is like from the point of view of employee. The second question is like micro-research. I like the term. It's the first time that I'm listening. When you are making the answer, when you were making the question, I was looking at Joseph. He was not looking at me. So micro-research has to do with what did I mention before? Hop on stations in order to do part of your research, part of your experiment. For example, probably you need a laser source that is not available here because not all the wavelengths are here. You can come to Crete, that we have a very big laser center, or through Crete to go to this European facility with 9 other research institutions in Europe. So you can find any laser source that you want. This is, I will give the definition, probably we can write a nice paper. What is like micro-research? you can move to different research stations to do part of your PhD. This is my answers. Did I forget anything? No. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So before I take any other questions, Carmen, could I ask you, there are no online questions? Okay, perfect. So do we have any other hopeful skeptics in the audience? We have 2 questions, thank you.
Don't worry, I'm always skeptic.
But are you hopeful? Are you hopeful?
So let's stick to quality. We will have 44 of these university alliances, and we have already a strong ranking, which is the top university in Europe. And will there be a ranking between these 44 alliances? Will this be reported for students? I asked the student here, and you mentioned that none of the partners in ATHENA is located in two capital, but 20% of the top-ranking universities are located in capitals. Is this a disadvantage maybe?
For me?
Well, I think Melinda, would you like to? Maybe first of all Melinda and then Evelyn. Perfect.
Thank you for the question. I don't think that will be a competition between the alliances, because the alliances are so different, with different focus points, different governance systems. It won't be a competition between the alliances. Also, the themes and the subjects are very different. From my point of view, it will be opportunity to attract students, not only in Europe, but also globally. And it will be a win-win situation for all the alliances.
Yeah, maybe if I can add on that, all the major rankings like Times Higher Education and others, they have clearly stated that they will not rank these European universities as a university yet. Why? Because their legal status isn't one yet. So maybe in 10, 20 years, whatever, this might change, but as of now, they will not be ranked, and you're totally right that the focus areas are completely different.
I also would agree. I think there would be a huge competence between the university, those are in those alliances, and those they are not in the future. And just if we have a look to Austria, from all our 21 University of Applied Sciences, there are already 5 in an alliance, and we are within them. So I would say this is a really competitive advantage for us.
Mm-hmm. So if I understood correctly, the question to me was whether it matters to students, the ranking. Of course, I cannot speak for all students. I do believe it matters, though, because a ranking represents also a reputation in a sense. So I do think that reputation is contributing a lot to a decision whether you go to university or not. But I do believe that also collaborating with different European universities can be a big advantage, because you can take advantage of the reputations of the others, because you're not only studying maybe at this one university, but you also go here abroad and you collaborate with this university. So in the end, I think universities are stronger together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. We have another question. Corinna, please.
A question to Denise Wornig. You said what we have today is the idea or the vision, or was the idea or the vision of someone else in the past. And I really like this idea. I mean, we have been friends for some years. We've been working together in a voluntary organization, which is also about cross-border cooperation. So what I wanted to ask you is, if we're sitting here in 5 years, what is the outcome, or what is the vision that you have today, what we will be having in 5 years? How will this look like? What will have changed? So what is your wish, so to say, if everything is possible?
If everything is possible? for me, the vision is much broader than just joining this alliance. I think in the long run, the vision also of any European university is to become one and to give away a little part of your identity as a Carinthian. It's like joining the European Union. Of course, I'm Carinthian, I'm Austrian, but I'm European. And the same holds true for these university alliances, that yes, and I would like to go on what Evelyn said here, that yes, I'm starting my journey of studying here, but I'm in this network of universities and I can move and do this as a student, as a researcher, and also hopefully in the long run as an employee, to get the best out of all of it and also use this sounding board. I think this is so important that we don't close up and try to solve all the big challenges we're facing now on our own. This is impossible. It is so important to reach out to other European universities and our partners and see what are they doing to solve the same issues and learn from them. So I think there's a bright future ahead.
So I think, yeah, perfect. We will have one more question, unless anybody else has a burning question. So please, Will.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So I would be interested, actually, we have many students who are studying and working at the same time, and then when I think that they also want to benefit from ATHENA, then so the question goes actually to Kostas, but also to Ms. Eichwalder. Do you think that companies would also be ready to allow like hybrid working during the studies, when students travel around within ATHENA and still keep their job? And the second part to Kostas, is there already a positive example where this works?
So this is my vision.
So first of all, give me 30 seconds to go to our colleague that worries about the quality, and I would like to ask you why Cambridge and Oxford participate in the European University Alliance. They don't need, quality, so there are some benefits that you can identify, and the benefits is like to be on accordance to the European priorities, to have an access to the funding, and also together to become better. And for me, this 20% that the best universities are in the city center, I know another 60% that they are not in the city centers. So coming back to this question, yes, ATHENA has demonstrated in this pilot phase, the possibility for someone to study hybrid. We have this blended course that the students, they have a project coming from the company, they can work together face-to-face in some particular meetings and then offline to work. More than this, the model that we would like to provide is like the combination of asynchronous and synchronous delivery of all our courses. So right now we are building and we are finalizing our course catalog, and we would like all of these courses to be able to provide to the students the possibility asynchronously to reach the educational material and then have particular meetings with the tutors or with the lecturers, when they can. So we have already demonstrated all the types of mobilities, face-to-face, blended, and virtual. So in the pilot phase, we know how to do it. Thanks to the COVID, we have well equipped, and yes, it's possible. And we are working on this.
Yeah, as Konstantinos mentioned, since Corona, hybrid working is no problem anymore, I would say, especially for us as a professional service firm. We have offices around the world, globally, so everyone can work in the office in which country he or she is just staying. And workation is really, we're really living workation. So in Europe, there is no problem. US, bit difficult, but Europe is no problem anymore.
Thank you. And a final comment, yes?
Yes, thank you. I would like to come back to your question, how we see the alliance in 5 years, maybe 10 years. I like this question. It is very difficult to explain you how I see the European universities. One colleague of mine said that higher education institution and European university alliances are like the brain cells. And through the work in the European University Alliance, get synapses, and the brain started to work. You are now at the starting point to work like a brain. You build up the knowledge area from Europe and for the world. One higher education institution alone cannot do that, because a neuron cannot think and collaborate and cooperate. You are now at the starting point, and I see the Fachhochschule Kärnten and ATHENA and the other European University alliances like the future from the knowledge of Europe and of the whole world. I congratulate you for that.
Wow, well, thank you. So I think that's the perfect way to end our discussion today, moving from a crazy idea into the celebrations. But just before we go, I would ask you to give all of our panelists, please, another round of applause. Thank you. So, and I'd ask you just to stay seated. That's perfect if you stay there. We're just into the last couple of minutes. First of all, we have a thank you gift for our panelists. And this is quite interesting. I hope maybe somebody can show at least our online guests what's in one of these gifts. So part of the gift that we're giving the panelists today is a Reindling. Now, what is a Reindling? And why are we giving them a Reindling? Well, it's a sort of round-shaped cake with cinnamon and sugar and nuts and all sorts of things. And it's typically around this time of year a gift that godparents actually give their godchildren, with the idea behind it being that you, as the godparent, are sort of taking care, supervising a little bit, watching over your godchild, and to remind them that you're there. So we would also see you as the godparents of our new alliance. So you have a symbolic duty to continue with this vision, and we'd say thank you very much. And
Maybe we can show one.
We can show one, especially so that our online audience can see this.
Of course, Denise, you also can. Thank you very much. And then for Ethne, yes, and maybe one for the music.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, thank you very much. And these are... So these are... Oh, we have more flowers. Oh,
So then I have one more gift to bring to you. Let me start over here, please. Thank you for your participation. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. And finally, I have one. No. I have one for you, Denise. Thank you for your great efforts in all our achievements. Thank you very much. And one finally for the great moderation of today.
Thank you so much. That's lovely. Thank you.
Special gift for our friend, I would like to say, Pastor. Interesting stuff. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you once again. Before you go, I would like to also maybe ask you that these are not the only godparents we have for the ATHENA CUAS Alliance, but that we have many more mentors and guiders who will also help us make this process come alive. And with that in mind, as we move towards our very last piece of music, and thank you very much to the Klagenfurt Postiglioni. That's it. And we have many more people to thank, and I have a whole list of people. I'm not going to go through everybody because I know we're quite late in time, but a special thank you obviously to our technical support, to everybody who helped. Thank you. You know who you are. To all of the international office team, also the SIC team who have helped us organize today. Thank you. Marketing. And maybe also a special thanks to our European Monday working group who have been working behind the scenes also in terms of trying to get this, collaborate in terms of sharing ideas for the European University Alliance. So with those thank yous in mind, what I would like you to do as you enjoy our last musical interlude, which is a very special one, as the musicians will play the European hymn. I would like you to think about what vision or what guidance you would like to give us for the partnership that we are just embarking on. You have some paper in front of you, colored paper. I saw some of you doodling on it. That's absolutely fine. As well as your doodles, your drawings, I would ask you to also write down your vision or the guiding message that you would like to give the partnership between CUAS and the ATHENA Alliance. It can also be skeptical as long as it's hopeful. While you are doing that, we'll play the music, so you have a couple of minutes to think. As soon as you're finished, what I would like you to do is then, and this should take you back to your childhood, make a paper aeroplane out of it. Can you do that? I hope so. We have, of course. If you can't, just look at your neighbors or look at the people in front of you and follow their guidance. So what we would like is, we would like your vision or your idea for the guidance behind this alliance. At the end of the song, and hopefully you recognize the end of the European hymn, we will ask you not to attack our guests, but to aim in the air, and we'll all try to do it together. Let's see how messy it is. And after that, we very much invite you to enjoy the celebrations and to talk to each other, to get to know each other. So thank you once again. Thank you to our wonderful musicians. Is everybody ready? 3, no? Okay, do we need another verse? No. Okay, we have some people ready, some not ready. We're looking for a little bit of coordinated chaos. maybe I'll use the time to say we realize that this is not very sustainable from the paper perspective, but we will collect all of these ideas, we'll generate them, we may create a piece of art out of them, we have lots of ideas. So with that, I hope everybody's ready. 1, 2, 3, thank you. Thank you. So maybe not so many engineers. Thank you. So.
I'm coming.